Carter Starocci at 197 pounds. That's right. It's not crazy. It's an actual possibility. This is from Carter himself. And, you know, coming into last season or the end of this year, the big question was, yeah, he's going to win his fourth, right? But what about his fifth? Is he going to come back for his fifth title because of the dumb COVID rule? Everyone in 21 gets an extra year. So Carter Starocci can win 5 NCAA titles. He can wrestle in 5 championships. Some people have had that opportunity. But to win 5 NCAA titles, he could be the one and only person to do that. And that's a record that will never be matched, topped, nothing. So the last few years, Carter has been basically like, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to do school. I don't really want to wrestle, you know, for a 5th title. That doesn't mean that much to me because in Carter's mind, he was going to win in March of 2024 and then make the Olympic team, go on and win the Olympics, and then kind of just get into the senior level and MMA and things like that. Well, he gets injured. It's clear after NCAAs, a couple weeks later, he can't make 74 kilograms. He got down to, I think he said around 170. So he got sort of close, but, you know, still 7 more pounds. Probably not likely he was going to be able to do it. So then kind of reverses course, goes up to 86 kilograms, and everyone watching him was like, he's not that small. You watch him wrestle Downey, you're like, yeah, Downey's big, but Carter's big. You watch him wrestle Trent Hidley, who was a monster at 197, and not only, eyeball test is something, right? You know, this guy looks about the same size, maybe a little smaller, but more than anything, the horsepower test, right? You would think Trent Hidley got big and has been up at 197 all year long, right? And Carter Starocci's been holding 174 for months and tried and got down to 170 pounds. And then in a matter of a week or so, was able to get up to whatever size he was and really contend with physically against someone as great as Trent Hidley, who, if you watch Trent Hidley this year, he dominated everyone but Aaron Brooks. I mean, he was just on a mission all year long and really physically overwhelmed a lot of the 197-pounders. So Carter is now, it sounds like, leaning towards a return. And when originally we were like, well, when you think about Carter returning, there was sort of, you just have this muscle memory of Carter as a 174-pounder. And you really entertained the thought of him going up. Well, it sounds like, you know, Kale floated the idea, and Carter said, well, I wasn't sure if he was really serious, but I think I could do it, to wrestle at 197. And when you think about 197 for Penn State next year, it actually makes a ton of sense because it gives Penn State the ability to redshirt Connor Mirasola, right, instead of having to use him right away. Now, Cochran is a possibility as well at 197. He's had some moments, and he beat Slavakuski in a duel up at heavyweight. But let's face the facts. It's Carter Starocci. He's a 4-time NCAA champion. We just saw what he did limited at NCAAs this year. Beats a national champion, Mekhi Lewis. Beats a national champion, Carter Starocci. And a tough-as-nails freshman in the NCAA finals, Rocco Welsh. And all without really being tested. Who went after this guy? Really, it was the first 2 matches where you really felt like, oh, man, he could be able to do this. But then every other match, he was in control the whole time. So you feel like he can go up and contend. And you look at who returned, you know, Trent Hidley's gone. A lot of these guys have graduated. And it feels like Carter would be an immediate favorite to win 197 pounds. I mean, he would in my book. I'm not picking anyone to beat that guy. Not after what I saw him do, one, at NCAAs this year, and not after what I saw him do at the Olympic trials. And you could say, wow, he beat Pat Downey, lost to Trent Hidley. What does that really mean? But you give this guy time to build up into the weight, it's just going to be more difficult. And he contended with Trent. He beat Pat Downey. I think he's absolutely a clear favorite for a 5th title at 197. He can go out a big guy. And because when he has said it, it's like, man, if I look at a weight, if I look at a piece of food, I blow up. Man, I kind of believe him after watching that performance. But there's other interesting potential changes with the Penn State lineup. So at the end of last year, the word kind of got out from Penn State media, hey, Braden Davis is pulling a lot of weight. He's too big. He's too big now. He was big enough this year, but 25 may not be a long-term thing. And it sounds like Luke Liljedahl is being basically told, hey, be ready year 1. Be ready to go. Plan on wrestling year 1 for Penn State. So Penn State fans, you're not going to have to wait long, in my opinion, to watch Luke Liljedahl wrestle for you guys. I think he's going to be the starter day 1 for Penn State. And with 125, it makes sense to wrestle these guys year one for a variety of reasons. One, you have no idea if they're going to be able to make 125 the next year. It's kind of a weight where not a lot of guys can hold it all 4 years. It's sort of constantly in flux. For that reason, you wrestle Luke. And for the other reason, this weight is going to be wide open again. Richie Figgs won it. He's back. Drake Ayala was second. He's back. But these guys, you look at their 2 seasons, they had up and down moments. They both lost to guys wrestlers that did not place. And so you look at Luke Liljedahl, this guy's ahead of the curve for a high school wrestler. He's a senior level wrestler. He's a senior level elite wrestler domestically, right? And so you wrestle him right away. 33, you have flexibility there where you can wrestle Nagao again. And you could wrestle Davis if Nagao's not available, but Davis can also redshirt. And so that's another reason it makes sense to wrestle someone like Luke right away. That way you have that flexibility for the redshirt the next year, which this would give them the ability to do that. And I think for Penn State 41, you figure Bo Bartlett's going to be the man there. 49, 57 is where it gets interesting because 2 years ago, we were hearing Levi Haynes is so big, he's so big, he's so big, the cut's brutal for him. But then he went 157 again and won it. But now the more word is getting out that he doesn't want to cut to 57 again. So it kind of opens up some options for Penn State. They could do a couple things. Tyler Kasek is obviously ready to go. How big is he going to get? Because I feel like he started the year at 141 and was a good size 41 to where he was a good size 49 by the end of the year. I mean, go back and watch his matches. Are there any matches you're like, whoa, Tyler Kasek, he looks like a 41-pounder out here against Ridge or against Ty Waters? I never felt that, and you didn't see it in his wrestling, that's for certain. So could he go up to 157? Could Shane Van Ness go up to 157? There could be a little movement there. Tyler Kasek still has that red shirt available. You could wrestle Joe Seeley year one at 157. Mitchell Messenbrink, 65. Does Levi Haynes go up to 174? Levi Haynes also has a red shirt available. So a lot of options there. And then I think what Starocci going 97 can do for Penn State is big because that keeps Josh Barr at probably his most competitive weight, which is 184 pounds. Josh Barr was 15-0 this year as a red shirt. A lot of bonus, like a 73% bonus rate. So you wrestle him at his weight. You don't have to bump him up to 197 or anything like that. Even though he's someone that I could see growing into 197 eventually, right now he looks like he's an 84. And based on watching him at U20s, I think that's a good spot for him. So a lot of options. It sounds like Greg Kerfley is coming back for sure. So I think the big, the Bo, Carter, Greg, I think they're all coming back, no doubt. And a lot of redshirt flexibility. But the two things I want to say, look for Carter to be wrestling up a weight, whether it's 84 or 97, I'm not sure, but I think 97 actually does make the most sense. Whether Cale was joking or just kind of putting it out there, I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think he'd win. And then, I mean, think about Max Dean. Everyone knows Max Dean was a 184-pounder. Everyone knew that, right? He went up for the team for 197 because Aaron Brooks was the 84, and he wasn't going to, move him out of his weight. He went up to 197. He won a national title. So, and this is not a slight at Max Dean, but I am saying if Max Dean can do it, certainly Carter Starocci can also do it, right? So that makes a lot of sense. So Carter up, Luke Liljedahl, year one, 125 for Penn State. Going to be a fun year if you're a Nittany Lion fan. What lineup moves would you like to see Penn State make? Where do you want to see them use Tyler Kasek and Shane Van Ness? Who should bump? Who should redshirt? What do you guys think?